and kind of jealous of what he's been able to do on some of the other teams he's played for in the playoffs. To have him on your side doing what he's always done, it's a nice boost for us. It makes us feel great. It makes us feel confident whenever he's up there in big spots. Just you can't match the experience that he's got playing 85 playoff games now in his career. I'm sure that's more than most MLB organizations. So it's a good guy to have on our side.
Yeah, I think I saw a stat. I think MLB posted it on their Instagram or something that his career numbers in the postseason, and I was looking at it and I was like, that's a great year for somebody. And what he puts up in the playoffs is something that not an everyday average MLB player does in a regular season. So just watching him and seeing how locked in and focused he is, it feeds off. It's just his energy feeds off to everybody, and I'm glad he's on our team.
Go to Phil right here in the front.
Ryan, you've had up close look at some Yordan Alvarez at bats in the first couple of games. Now it's Sonny, who doesn't generally give up home runs. Do you guys change? Yeah. Do you guys?
It would be Phil to do that.
Do you guys? Hey, I'm not asking about the streak anymore. Do you guys change the plan, or do you just trust that Sonny's stuff is different, or how much more discussion is there about his at bats in particular?
Yeah, I think after day one when he hit the 2 homers, we sat down, we looked at it, we said, what can we do better? If you're going to look at that lineup, that guy's, arguably one of the best hitters in the game, top 3 for sure. So you go up and down that lineup, and you always, no matter who you're playing, you try and find, okay, this is a guy we're really going to focus on. This is a guy we're not going to let beat us. We understand the situation when he comes up. But we're going to be aggressive. We're going to attack these guys. We're not going to give in. Something that Pablo did really well yesterday against Yordan was attack him. I don't think we shied away. When you get passive, when you're making pitches, you usually make mistakes. You leave something over the middle. So being able to attack on the edges and attack to a plan, we did a really good job of that. And he's a really good hitter. He's gonna get his hits, but limiting the damage and the runs batted in and understanding, like I said, the situation that's apparent when he comes up is the biggest part.
Go in the back in the middle over here.
Can both of you guys just speak to Target Field, the atmosphere, what you expect tomorrow, what you saw last week, and what that does for you during the playoffs?
I was shocked at the wild card games, how loud it got. I played in Houston in 2017 in the World Series, and that was one of the loudest stadiums I've ever been in. And then coming back here to Minnesota, hearing the fans, it was pretty spot on, very similar. And then going to Houston now, and then comparing it to our stadium I think was a lot louder, I think personally. And tomorrow, I saw it was sold out, and the wild card game wasn't sold out, so I'm expecting it to be a little bit louder than the wild card game. So I think these fans are excited for good baseball, and I think we'll give it to them. Yeah,
I think all of us kind of were surprised. They closed that roof game 1 in Houston, and I think we all were ready to kind of get our eardrums blown up. And baseball crowd noise is a funky thing because it kind of plays both ways. Home crowd, away crowd, they're cheering when you're on offense, they're cheering when you're on defense because they're cheering for the pitcher, they're cheering for the batter. So noise is noise. And I think when it came down to it, our place was louder. I think the fans stayed in it the whole game. They were on their feet for 7 of the 9 innings, it felt like. So all we can ask is that same energy comes tomorrow and win Wednesday.
We'll go on the left over here.
Well, piggybacking off that question to both of you, just how do you size up what is now a best of 3 with you guys now having the advantage of games 3 and 4 here at Target Field?
Yeah, when you start these 5-game series on the road, you look at any, it's not like I have a ton of experience with this. I've watched a lot of series. They always talk about you want to win one of those games on the road to bring it back home, not in a hole. I think being able to now turn it into a game of 3, a best-of-3 series. We got 2 games at home. We got Sonny lined up, who arguably is top 3 Cy Young race this year. And then if we need a Game 5, we've got Pablo lined up on normal rest. So I think we like our chances. You know, we like our chances against anybody. It just so happens that we're in a pretty good spot right now.
Yeah, I think you know, Astros they're a great baseball team, and it's very hard to beat them. And us being able to go in there and split the series there 1-1 was really, really good. I mean, that's very hard to do, is beat them and win over there. So I think coming back here, these 2 games, we just got to play our game. We have all the confidence in the world in Sonny and our pitching staff and our defense and our offense. So I think, you know, we just got to play like we've been playing the second half of this year and just keep going.
Go right in the middle, second row.
You know, Ryan's been around here longer, but for you both, Polo and Kep are organizational lifers. They've seen a lot here. Can you tell that in the way they go about their business? And can you tell kind of what it's been like for them to finally get over the hump here and kind of make a run into the playoffs like this?
You can kind of see I know we saw the interview yesterday. It was a kind of a wholesome moment seeing them bond on the stage. But you can see the weight, they're lighter. I don't know how much weight they're really carrying from just not being in this organization for so long and not having the success that they would want to have. But they're both playing super free. Kep's just really just in a different spot, just mentally just so free, so happy. And when you're doing that, when you can play like that in the baseball field, a lot of good things happen. So it's awesome to see their bond, but it's also to see how happy they are.
We'll go on the front left here.
For both players, just how confident are you coming back home 1-1, knowing that you've got Sonny going on the mound on the big stage in the next game?
Oh gosh, I never put any doubt in Sonny. Sonny's going to come in, do his routine, not talk to anybody. You kind of have to get out of his way. He stays locked in all day, and I think, you know, big time players are meant for big time opportunities, and I think that's what Sonny is, and he's been training for this his whole career. And you know, it started in college at Vanderbilt. They breed winners over there, and then, you know, he comes to the big leagues and has been a winner. So I think Sonny's we give the ball to Sonny. We're excited about it, and you know, he's going to go out there and compete.
Go to the back row on the right.
Yeah, Kyle, we saw the right-handed lineup yesterday, and it's a different look. You guys are a little more veteran, you and Donovan and Willie, a different type of hitters. No more lefties, none in the pen. Frommer's already thrown. Have you identified anybody in their pen? Are there pockets there where the likes of yourself, Donovan, Willie, can still potentially maybe bring that change of pace offensively?
I think it's more so. I mean, I don't know how Rocco's going to go about it. That's above my pay grade. But I think he puts guys in the right situations in the right times. As we saw the other night or last night, you know, they took me out. I struck out with the bases loaded, and they brought in Eddie off the bench to get a big knock with the bases loaded. I mean, that's just what we've been doing all year. And Rocco and the staff, they put everybody in a good spot. And so I think we just have to. Who knows? I mean, they could put us in any situation, but I think Willie's probably the first guy off the bench in a big situation, whether it's a righty or lefty, because he's a switch hitter. So, yeah, having no lefties in the bullpen is strange, but seen it before, but that's just what they do.
Go on the back right.
Ryan, when you guys are playing in this postseason, the Toronto and the first couple of Houston games, it seems like you guys have been the aggressors, trying to push things, whether it's a defensive move, whether it's, you know, going for the extra base. Where does that come from, and has that been a conscious decision? Is it something that the team has talked about or the coaching staff?
Yeah, I think it goes back to the earlier question about how we're going to pitch Alvarez. You can't shy away from these big names, these big organizations that have done so much. Success comes from being aggressive and not being passive. You know, when you're playing on the back foot, when you're playing scared, you're not going to play good. So having the confidence in who we are as a team, who we are as a pitching staff, who we are as a position player group, lets us be on attack. Because we trust ourselves. We feel confident in what we have, what we are as a team. And it just lets us play free and lets us play aggressive. You'd rather make a mistake on the aggressive side than be passive and look back and say, darn, I wish we did something different. So we're going to be aggressive, and if we go down aggressive, then that's going to be fine with us. But we're not going to be passive.
All right. Ryan, Kyle, thanks for coming in.
Thank you, guys.
Sonny Gray started. Started with Sonny Gray. Go right in the middle.
Sonny, that April start here against them with 13 strikeouts, that was a long time ago, and I know the lineup looks a little bit different from them, but what, if anything, can you take away from the game plan or the results there as you approach them tomorrow here?
I don't know. I don't think you look back that far as like a game plan or like how I'm going to attack these dudes. I think over the course of a season, hitters change, approaches change. You know, guys say, like, I found this, I found that. I've changed from then. I've changed a little bit of my arsenal here, a little bit of my arsenal there, what I'm doing with pitches. I think the biggest takeaway from that is you can watch it. You can put yourself in a mindset of that, what it felt like, the emotion you had. I mean, because at the time it was our first home game. We started the season on the road. That was our first home game, so there was a lot of excitement. The fans were excited. There was a good energy in the air, as there will be again tomorrow. So I think that's the biggest part is feeling those feelings, going through those feelings, rather than I attacked this guy this way, blah, blah, blah. So I think just feeling the feelings, you know, and that's I think that's a big takeaway.
Now that you've played 4 postseason games with him, why do you think Carlos Correa is so effective this time of the year?
I said it last week. I said, and I do believe it. You don't win in this league, especially in the postseason. You don't win World Series without superstars on your team. Because I do think that superstars show up in the biggest moments. It's just it's kind of their life, right? It's just kind of like how they live their life. Walking down the street and you got 30 people on the other side yelling at you, wanting to do this, wanting to do that. So I mean, to them, it's just another day in the life, you know. So I think that. I mean, I just think it's just kind of how he lives his life. It's just kind of who he is. But you see his demeanor change. You see his the way he carries himself just around. He always carries himself at a very high standard. But it just seeing it walking around, not on the field, seems to be even a little higher than normal. So I think it's just a way of life, and I'm glad he's on our side. And that was exciting to watch last night. I was happy for him.
Go to Dan in the middle.
Sonny, you've had a little bit of success against Jordan, but what kind of challenges does he pose right now with the way he's hitting?
Jordan, he's a good hitter. I mean, he's a good hitter. They have a good lineup. At the first night, the first game, he beat us with a couple of things, and me and Pablo had long discussions during that game, after that game, just about approach. And it kind of started with him, and then it kind of just goes to where it goes. And that's why, like, I love the relationship that we have as a staff, not only as a starting staff, but as a pitching staff in general. We try to, and by now it's just normal, right? It's just something that we do, is we just start baseball conversations, just start pitching conversations, and just let them go to wherever they go. And that's something that we do, and that's something that in spring training that we made a point to maybe force a little bit just to get it going, you know. And at this point, it's just second nature. You start a conversation and you just have it, and it goes to where it goes. Jordan is he's a good hitter. He seems to be hot right now. But they have good hitters throughout their lineup. So I don't know, without saying too much. I mean, yeah, he's a good hitter, and you know, I look forward to the matchup, to the challenge. I'll come up with a plan of how I'm going to attack him, and then after that, it's just let me go out there and be me. A big thing for me is me versus you. I'm going to challenge you. I'm going to come at you with my best stuff, and if you get me, you get me. If I get you, I get you, and that's just kind of talking about like how, you know, Carlos lives his life. That's just kind of how I live my life. It's me and you. You know, when you get out there, I'm the pitcher, you're the hitter, and I got a catcher, and I got guys behind me. But simplifying it even down, it's me versus you, and that's some of the things that excite me.
Go over here to Phil on the left. Oh. Go to Bobby.
Is there any big benefit? Last week was your first playoff start in 6 years. Any big benefit to maybe you know what to expect now, pitching here in a playoff game, you know, coming into tomorrow?
Yes and no, probably. The fans, I know the fans are going to show up. They were incredible last time we were at home. We expect nothing less. They're going to be incredible again. But the game is the game, and I said it last time, and I'll say it again. It is the game. I mean, yes, you're one round farther, you're one step closer to our ultimate goal, and we talked about this last week. Our ultimate goal is to hold a trophy at the end of the season. The World Series is still right there in front of us. It's a little closer. You have your eyes on it, but you also have your eyes on today, and you have your eyes on tomorrow. So yeah, I mean, it was exciting last time to go out and pitch. Chance to clinch a series, chance to move on, chance to celebrate after the game. Having said that, coming into the game 1-1, coming back to Minnesota, it's a big opportunity for us. It's a big opportunity for us to go out there and play a hard-fought competitive game. And I don't think it changes for me from last week to this week. Just, I mean, I'm going to go out and I'm going to attack these guys. I'm going to come at them with my best stuff, and I'm excited for this. I'm excited for the opportunity.
Sonny, you were at the Vikings training camp this year, and I think correct me if I'm wrong, but were you not an option quarterback in high school? A quarterback?
I'd like to call myself dual threat.
Dual threat, yeah.
Shotgun,
pistol,
yeah, all the things.
Do you get much when you compete in baseball? You look like you've almost got that same mindset, that tenacity, that grinder, that almost 3 yards in a cloud of dust kind of approach to it. Did you get something from playing football in high school that you take with you?
I got a ton from playing football, not only in high school, but throughout my life. I've said this a lot. Football might be my favorite sport. I love football. I loved playing football. There's nothing like that. The way that a team truly has to come together in football, the way that it all kind of, especially playing quarterback, that was, I mean, you're in charge of all 11 guys that are out there, right? You not only know what you have to do, but then you're knowing what the left guard, left tackle, all the receivers, the running backs, you kind of know. You know what what they have to do, and then you also know what the defense is doing. There's nothing like playing football, especially playing high school football. I was talking about this last week, actually, because we were talking about just kind of asking guys, like, the guys, obviously we have guys who have won a World Series, but then we kind of took it deeper. Have you ever won a championship in anything, this and that? my junior and senior year, we won 2 state championships, and I know it's not, it's not a World Series, it's not this, but it was incredibly special years of my life. And I felt it then, a team come together and get it, make it, and win the ultimate thing. It was a state championship for us. We won it back-to-back years, and I love playing football, and I think a lot of the way that I do go out there and pitch does stem from how I played football.
Go over here on the left, Phil.
Sonny, I asked Justin Verlander if there's a skill to not giving up home runs, and he said getting mishits is a skill, not hitting barrels is a skill, but he's a kind of a fly ball pitcher, and there's a lot of luck to it. You had an incredible home run prevention season. Is that a skill that you can quantify and explain?
I do know this. I know the more that you're ahead of guys, the more that you get strike one, the more that I truly believe the more that you are the aggressor, the more that you put the hitters in a defense mode, the more likely of a chance or whatever that you're gonna limit damage. When I look at things, I look at limiting damage and miss. How do I limit damage from this guy, and how do I get miss? Where can I go to limit damage? Where can I go to get miss? And trusting your stuff, I think, is incredibly important in that, because when you don't do that, you're not free and easy. You're not just, here it is, let it rip. I have a good fastball. It stays off the barrel for the most part. Obviously, I like to spin the ball. That's no secret. I think there is some skill to it. There may be some luck. I don't know. I don't think about it, to be honest with you. I just think about attacking, getting ahead, continuing to go at guys. There's a lot of times, to be honest with you, there'll be a 1-0 count, or it'll be an 0-0 count, or let's say it's a 2-0 count, or whatever the count may be. There's a lot of times in my head I'm out there on the mound and I say, here it is. Back to me versus you. I go, here it is, me versus you. Let's see how far you can hit it. And that's my mindset for a lot of the pitches that I throw. Here it is, I'm coming at you. Let's see how far you can hit it. And it puts me in a competitive attack. Here it is, like I'm coming right at you mindset. And like we said, and like I've said, that is when I'm at my best. And it's amazing what happens when you do put yourself in that mindset and you have that thought. Here it is, let's see how far you can hit it. And foul ball, ground out, pop out, broken bat, called strike. A lot of good things tend to happen when I think like that.
Also, I was wondering if Declan has given you any advice for this round.
Declan. No advice yet. We've talked about it. He kind of caught on to that, like, better not lose thing, and that was a lot of fun. We flew home yesterday, me, Jessica, my wife, Gunnar, and Declan. We flew home a little early so we could, not get in as 3 o'clock, 3:30 in the morning. So we were just spending some quality time together. We watched the game last night. We watched every pitch. We were all into every pitch. It was awesome to kind of have that experience, and also, have it with them, but also know that you're in it with every single one of your guys. None yet, but there's still a lot of time before game starts tomorrow, so I'm sure they'll have something for me.
We'll go in the back right.
Sonny, back here. The way this team has played in the field in the Toronto series, then this one as well, so airtight defensively, aggressive with their plays behind the pitcher. How much does that help you in your preparation when you're on the hill, knowing that this team is excelling defensively right now?
I think it helps for sure, but it's nothing. It's nothing new to me. Throughout the course of this season, we've made incredible plays all around the field. So that's not anything new. I don't want to sit here and say at this point you expect it, but a little bit it's like you just not expect, because I don't like to say that because it is what it is a lot of times, but we just tend to make plays, and I think our team was built for that. I think our team was built very soundly defensively. I do know that it is something that we work on and we practice and we talk about every single day. And it's no secret, or it's not a fluke, or it's not anything other than it's something that we work on. It's something that we practice. It's something that we preach. It's something that our guys truly believe in, and we just make plays. And I have all the and which comes back to that. Here it is. I'm going to attack you. Let's see how far you can hit it, because go ahead, because I know it's in my favor. It's always in my favor as the pitcher. It's always in my favor. But you do have a little bit more saying, you know what, it's more in my favor, because go ahead and do what you're going to do, because I know somebody's going to make a play behind me. It's just something that we've done all year.
Go one more with Dan in the middle.
Sonny, you've known Kyle for a long time. You know what he means to the team and the clubhouse there. What was it like to see the home run there and that big moment for him?
Yeah, it was awesome. So I was pulling into my garage last night. Kyle hit a homer. It was right when we were getting home, so we got to watch like the bottom half of the second. We listened to the first inning and a half. He hit a homer. He's so good to me. He's one of my best friends on the field, away from the field. So that was awesome. I know his parents were there too, so that was special. We're good friends. I first time I saw him today was we walked in and he was sitting at the table and he was eating lunch, and he goes, whatever, and I kind of walk up to him and I go, and I just kind of put my arm around him and I said, hey, you gave Gunner a glove last week, and I'm just wondering if you need it back. And he's like, no, what? I gave it to him. No, I gave it to him. I said, well, only reason I ask is I just didn't know if you had a hole in yours, because that relay throw from left field last night, you kind of just whiffed it, and then you looked down at your glove like your glove had a hole in it. So I was just making sure that your glove is okay and you don't need that one back. And he goes, you know, and I'm just like, so he's a good guy, and I was very happy for him.
All right, Sonny, thanks for coming in.
Yep, thank y'all.
I know, right? Jeez, bunch of romantics around here. Oh, good, thank you. Yeah, Rocco's not afraid to just grab it and start drinking. She's working the press. Oh, wow. Awesome. shoot, once we get down in here, I'm gonna run up there. Where's it? Where's it at? Oh yeah, where you got? Where you usually post up, right? Yeah, exactly. So it's gotcha. Okay. Awesome. Yeah, that'd be great. That's good. That's awesome.
It's been fun. Really, she's got a lot of stories.
Oh yeah, she's the best. She broke me in on this stuff my first year with York. I got there in April and went up and had breakfast with her one day when we were in New York. And she said, I'm going to put you in the playoffs with me this year. It's like, we're in Baltimore. I'm like, what about the playoffs? She's like, we're in the playoffs with me. I'm like, oh, that'd be awesome. And I've done it like, I think I've won this 2 years since then. It's the last. All right, we'll get started for Rocco, and after he has a drink of his red Gatorade.
Red Gatorade, that's it.
We'll go start in the front here.
Hi, Rocco. Not a new subject, but are you a little amazed that Carlos has been able to do this again? I mean, he's 8 for 15 in the postseason. He's already made about a handful of great defensive plays. What you expected, or even exceeding expectations?
I would say that this is exactly what Carlos Correa is here to do. And he was brought here to do these things. These are pretty extraordinary things, but this is why we wanted him. This is why we brought him in, and he's doing exactly what he's done before. It's not the first time he's done things like this. So he's not finished yet, and it's kind of the way I look at it.
Go in the middle.
Rocco, what do you think Kep and Polo have been to this organization for 14 years now?
It's been that long, huh? I mean, they've seen so many different versions of the club. They've had a lot of teammates, staff members. I mean, they've seen a whole lot, and they're still playing great. So, you know, they are a kind of a humble duo in some ways. They never get that entitled. You know, when you spend a long time in a certain place, there's not an iota of that entitledness that can come sometimes when you've been in a place. I mean, we've all probably felt these feelings before when you get super comfortable in a spot. They're still working every day. They still handle their responsibilities exceptionally well, and they're still productive big leaguers and playoff caliber performers. And you know, it's I like writing them in the lineup. I have since the day I got here, and hopefully I get to continue to do so. But they're still doing a nice job. They have some nice seasons going, and more to come.
See any extra meaning in this experience for them, considering that history?
Oh, I'm sure it means a hell of a lot to both of them. You know, I'd like to listen to their quotes on it. You know, if you get a chance to ask them about it, but they're relishing this, I'm sure, in a lot of ways, and having a good time while winning some games.
Go to Betsy.
Hey, Rocco, have you guys settled on your Game 4 starter yet, or is there anything that could happen tomorrow?
We'll announce it tomorrow. We'll get through the game tomorrow. Maybe before the game. I'm not sure exactly, but we're still going to chat a little bit about a few things and then announce.
Go ahead.
Rocco, as you kind of reflect on the crowd from the Wild Card Series, what's the first thing that comes to mind when you think of that experience, and how big of an advantage could that be now that it's 2 or 3 at home?
Yeah, it's like having another player. Our crowd gave us the upper hand, is what they did, and the players still have to go out and perform, but the crowd put the players in position to go out there and play great and succeed. And you know what? We're going to have them again out there, and they're going to be ready, and we know they're going to be ready. We've seen what it can look like, and I think our crowd and all of our fans, I think they've gotten a taste of what they're capable of too. And I bet there's a lot of people that can't wait to get to the ballpark to be a part of it again.
Stay on the left.
Rocco, how advantageous is this situation just with the next 2 at home, best of 3, and you know you've got Pablo for a Game 5 if need be, and you've got Sonny going tomorrow?
Yeah, I truly believe, especially when playing against, really good teams and really good competition and in playoff environments, I really don't like to look ahead too much. I don't really want to look ahead to Game 4, Game 5 at all. I think one thing that has helped us big time has been just worrying about the next game. Just worry about planning, game planning, preparing physically, mentally. Our players and our staff have done a good job of that, and I think it's kept us grounded and ready to go. Every win you get at this time of the year is very important, and if you can grab a win in the most recent game, it sets you up going forward in one way, shape, or form. But I'm not going to look too far ahead and place too much on it at this point.
Go on the back left.
Rocco, going back to Carlos and what he means, can there a player be like that kind of put confidence in the rest of the players, showing them that this is how it can be done? And every time he's on base, he's looking at the dugout, encouraging them and trying to bring everybody along with him. Is there something to that?
He's been doing that since the first day he showed up here. A lot of people are recognizing it now and getting to see it because we are playing in the playoffs. These are big games. Everybody's watching. He's elevating his play and the team's play in this situation. But he's spoke about this and prepared for this his whole career, and also with our group since the day he showed up last year. So he has, and he was very serious about it. We talked endlessly about the first day Carlos Correa showed up in our locker room, and that was in Fort Myers. He came in. The second he got there, it wasn't about hugs and dropping his equipment off and laughing and all that stuff. He could have cared less about that. He was getting to business the first moment he walked in the clubhouse, and guys were like, whoa, like this guy is about being great, not good. He has no interest in being good or really good or having a good year and being satisfied with that. He has zero interest in that. And I think that feeling of only aiming for just greatness, he's rubbed that off on everyone, including myself. So I give him credit. There's very few people that conduct themselves like that in everything that they do. But that's him. That's the guy, and that's what he's meant to us.
Go to Dan.
Hey, Rocco. I think Yohan said last week in Game 1 that he needed a little breather when Pete came out. Just the crowd was kind of getting him amped up. Game 2, he had the cut on his finger. Last night, he gets the road environment. What do you think of the way he's handled those different situations?
He's been great. He adapts very well to new environments, even higher pressure environments. I've been really impressed with the way that he's really dialed it in the playoffs. In these games, command-wise, off-speed command specifically, coming in and not taking too long to find what he's looking for. He's adjusted very quickly to the highest of pressure environments. So his ability to go out there and do his job and shut the door on these games is extraordinarily important to what we're doing. We've relied on him, and we're going to continue to do so in every way. He's still a young. We talk about just who he is, how old he is, where he's at in his career, all these things. But you set all those things aside, and you're like, is this, eventually it just comes down to you getting it done or you're not getting it done, and this guy just keeps doing it.
Go over here to Phil.
Rocco, what did you think of Royce, the effort of running the bases last night? And he kept telling us, you have to ask Rocco, you have to ask Rocco. Is there any chance that we would see him playing third base this week?
Yeah, there's a chance he's going to play third base this week. I don't know if it's going to be tomorrow, though. We still have to figure some things out on the medical side and have some conversations. I don't know. I honestly don't know. So he does look significantly better than he did 7 days ago, about a week ago. That's great news for us. I mean, enough so where we're watching him go and, first to third. What did he do? He's going first to third. We put a safety on with him on third base. And, there's different things that he's capable of right now. He can help us on the bases before, at the beginning of this playoff schedule. He probably wasn't going to be helping us too much on the bases. He was just going to kind of, like I said, cruising speed, I think I said before. He's improving, so we'll take that.
Go to Bobby.
From last night, kind of it was near identical situations. Farmer with the bases loaded, you let him hit, and then a couple innings later, Julian pinch hits for him. Kind of went into that decision.
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot. There was a lot moving in my mind really quickly at that point. It's a really big spot in the game, and we need as many runs as we can score against the team that we're playing against. They can strike quickly and put some runs on the board. So, also, Kyle Farmer's as good of a defender as you're going to really find, as reliable and steady and cool on the field in every situation as any player in the world that you could imagine. With a lead, he is one of the few guys. It's like you really, really do not want to take this guy out of the game. And I bet all of our guys in the dugout are also thinking like, we don't want to take Farmer out of the game. This is the guy, when you're ahead and you need to make plays. So all that said, I kind of waited and hesitated for a sec while they made a pitching change. Well, I made a visit out to the mound and then pulled the trigger on just getting Eddie up there because Eddie, I thought, gave us the best chance of scoring more. And Eddie went up there and had a great at-bat. And we were able to utilize our bench and get, Stevenson into left field. Willie Castro is a heck of a third baseman, too. So we have options, and we decided to use those options and make a few things happen and get Eddie Julian to the plate.
All right. Thanks for coming in, Rocco.
You got it. Thanks, guys.